I'm now joined by former MTV VJ Adam Curry. Adam, what is your first reaction when you saw that yesterday making the rounds? It got a ton of downvotes from MTV, but what are they thinking?
And I think they took it down now. I think they took it down. They put it back up. They took it down. You know, when I first saw that, obviously, intellectually, I'm insulted because, I mean, come on. It's all white guys' fault as usual.
Welcome, Sandy Hook researchers. It's all white guys' fault, as usual. That's right. Adam Curry of the No Agenda Show, pimping it big on the Alex Jones Show. Working for the Trump. That's Adam Curry's new job. And wearing a lot of lipstick. Hey, I don't judge people. Just lighten up on the pink lipstick, bro. Anyway, I'm just making a little bit of fun at this guy because he is quite the despicable character, and I'm going to show this in this video. Now, there's a lot to this, a lot of different angles, and let's just start with the Alex Jones Show. Of course, he just said that he doesn't like white men being blamed for things. Well, I'm a white man, and I blame white men for a lot of things. Doesn't mean I'm a self-hating white man. It also doesn't mean I'm a Jew, as I'm accused of on the YouTube. So I want to make that clear, first of all. But a little backstory here. I've been listening to the No Agenda Show since around 2012. I was introduced to them through Jack Blood, who I was doing some sort of work with, collaboration, nothing official. And he started playing a few of their clips on his show, and I thought they were fairly funny. And then before I knew it, he was announcing that he was joining their network. And they didn't really have a network. They just had a stream of their own show being looped 24/7, and he just decided to join them, and it sounded like maybe they were going to get more people on board and create a one of these alternative radio networks, which there are quite a few of. But something didn't work out there, and Jack left, and as far as I know, that it's still just the No Agenda Show on that stream. So that's kind of how I knew these people. And I started listening to them, and they've changed so much over the time from 2012. It is just incredible. Kind of like how Alex Jones changed from defending Muslims about 9/11 to now hating Muslims and wanting us to kill them all. So that's just sort of how I watched these people change. And it was interesting during the run-up to the 2016 election. They became nothing but Donald Trump pimps to the extreme. And a lot of their viewers noticed this, and I think they had a lot of viewers drop off. Maybe they gained some. And what you saw at the beginning was Adam Curry's second visit to the Alex Jones Show. He first appeared with his friend Max Kaiser on December 9th, 2016, just about a month after Trump was elected. And then he was rewarded with appearing with Alex Jones himself. And so when you backed Trump and then Trump won, then you get to go on the Alex Jones Show to promote your own show. And it turned out eventually, too, that Adam was offered to host the Alex Jones Show. And over a few days, he ended up not doing it. I think there was enough bad feedback at the time that he decided not to host it. This was around the time that Alex Jones was being slammed hard for Sandy Hook and the Megyn Kelly interview, etc. So, of course, this all links back to Sandy Hook, and Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak also promoted that Sandy Hook was a hoax, more or less. So it's all connected. That's why I use the same Sandy Hook intro. But this is really about Charlottesville. But before we get into the Charlottesville part, let's hear another little short clip from Adam Curry.
But in the meantime, whoever is in, and this is just the thesis that I'm working on, whoever is in control of, quote, the White House, whether it's military intelligence or CIA, they kind of run things the way they see fit. And honestly, I would put coming from a CIA family, pretty much, I still would prefer military intelligence because they just seem to have their head on straight.
Coming from a CIA family, pretty much. Yes, this all adds up because Alex Jones pretty much only has CIA and ex-intelligence people on his show, either working on his show or as guests. It's a bevy of spooks. And Adam Curry, over the years, has admitted that he's just loaded up in his family with CIA people. His uncle, as he was mentioning, his aunt, his cousin. He has links to people that give him information. So he is spooked up to the max. And of course, then he's linked up with Alex Jones, and they're both promoting Donald Trump. It's an all in the family, big, happy family. And let's listen to another brief clip about it.
A little background. My uncle is Donald Gregg. And I don't know if you remember who he is, but he was the ambassador to South Korea for several years.
Yes.
He was George H. Walker Bush's national security advisor, longtime CIA guy from the OSS days. And he's now in his mid-80s and known as Uncle Don to me.
Uncle Don, OSS CIA. Nothing to worry about. Yes, the Patriot movement is just infiltrated with these people. And on that show, which was dated August 9th, not very long ago, 2017, Adam Curry was on with Alex and Roger Stone, another infamous character who's deeply involved directly with Trump. So it's a big, huge Trump festival here, and they're all making money. That's the key. They're all making money off of promoting Trump. That's what Adam Curry's show, him and John C. Dvorak's show, the No Agenda Show, has become. It went from promoting Trump throughout the election to now defending Trump. The show is pretty much a 90% Trump show. Defending Trump, telling people how bad liberals are. It's the same thing Alex Jones has gone to. Complete division, left-right paradigm, all the things Alex Jones told you not to get involved with. But now that's all he promotes with his fully intelligence agency run show with Roger Stone as a member of the InfoWars family now, and Jack Posobiec, a guy from the Marines, O&I, the Navy. So yeah, it's quite the little infamous show they've got going here. But we're going to get into the Charlottesville stuff. Now, this is what's interesting. The No Agenda Show is promoting things that are exactly like what David Duke and some of the white supremacists are promoting. That's because they're all promoting and supporting Donald Trump. So when the Charlottesville thing blew up in their face with the white supremacists driving over people, they've all come out and tried to defend it in any way they can. So I'm going to let you listen to a 3-minute clip from the No Agenda Show, and then we're going to talk about it. And then you're going to hear from David Duke later, and you can compare the two and see if there's anything they have in common with their story that they're trying to push. Here it is.
Two things, both about domestic terrorists. As you now locked into the lexicon, certainly in Gitmo Nation proper here, is Charlottesville. The death of Heather Heyer was perpetrated by domestic terrorists. Even though, and where is it? Have we heard anything else about this guy? It's so odd. It just went away. Where is he? What's happened? Where's the indictment? Is he still in jail? I mean, who knows what's happening to him? Have you heard anything?
No, zip. I heard so little that I forgot about the story completely until you just brought it up.
Well, there's something that I don't have conclusive evidence of, but so far it does appear to be correct. Now, when you see the tributes for Heather Heyer, who was, I'll say allegedly, mowed down by the alleged domestic terrorist in Charlottesville, the pictures you see are like a high school yearbook picture. And it's horrible. You see this beautiful girl, and she's been mowed down by the car. What's interesting is that was not a current picture of her. That was a very, very old picture. In fact, Heather Heyer, before her death, looked a lot more like her mother. She was probably tipping 300 pounds. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not know that.
In fact, if you look at the video, and again, this is presuming that is indeed her, and it seems like it, she wasn't actually scooped up by the car, but she fell down to the right of the car and suffered a heart attack and died. If you saw the videos, you saw different EMTs giving CPR, and if you look at the video, you'll see it's a very large woman, and they're trying to give her CPR, and they couldn't revive her, which would mean technically that she wasn't mowed down, that she got a fright, or maybe she was struck. That is not entirely clear. But her own mother even kind of backs up this theory.
So I'm just grieving my child. She died pretty instantly. She didn't suffer. She died of a heart attack right away at the scene. They revived her briefly, and then not consciously, just got her heart beating again, and then her heart just stopped. So I don't feel like she suffered. That's been a blessing.
Just interesting. And I know it's very hard to bring this up. It sounds insensitive, but I do think it's an important data point. Also in light of, where is this guy? Where is he? Where's all the charges? Where's the gas chamber? Where's the electric chair?
Good catch.
Interesting, isn't it?
It's been swept under the carpet.
And, well, some of these videos are in the show notes, 963.noagendanotes.com. But you can see that there's a very large woman being given CPR. There's videos you can see she's on the right-hand side of the car, looking at the car from behind. She may not have been struck necessarily by the car or killed by. I mean, the incident is unfortunate and things happen. But her mom seems to say, yeah, she died instantly. She had no pain. Okay. I'm going to be called an insensitive prick for doing that one. Maxine.
I'm not going to call you that, but I know who will call you that. There's a number of people that condemn us.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't know why they even bother listening to the show.
I don't think they actually do.
Insensitive prick. There are a few other words for you besides that, but I'm not here to get into a word contest, a bashing contest. I'm showing the proof, and you can make up your mind what you think of these people, and if you're going to support them or abandon them or make videos like I'm doing to expose what they're all about. So, as you heard, they're now claiming that the guy who drove his car into a crowd of people didn't hit her. He didn't hit the girl who died, Heather Heyer. And this is a theme now. It's throughout the YouTube and everything. You have all of these white supremacist type channels making up excuses. There's all kinds of weird theories they've come up with. I made a previous video showing some of those. And they've been now also linking this to Sandy Hook, where they're claiming that Heather Heyer's mother is Donna Soto, Victoria Soto's mother, and they're trying to claim that they're the same person. So now you're back into crisis actors and face matching, which I've covered many times over. So the point of this is always to defend the Nazi white supremacist murderer. And I've made videos about that as well, where they always come out and come up with these bizarre theories in order to shift the blame off of the actual murderer who may be linked to their group. That's the point. And then to lay the blame all onto the CIA and the FBI and stuff, that it's not a real event, that it's all contrived by the government in order to make the white supremacists look bad. That's also part of this theme, that this is all sort of like a Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama working from the shadows to make the alt-right look bad. That's what some of these people claim. So it's interesting, in that clip you just heard, he refers to a video. So I went and I wanted to see what video he was talking about. And he played that clip from Heather Heyer's mother. So if you go to the No Agenda show notes, and that was from show 963, you see the video he referred to. And it's highlighted there. Video, Heather Heyer died of a heart attack. The MSM lied again. And he provides the link to the video. So I went and looked at that video, and I found that it was done by a girl named Lauren Rose. And the video was titled, Heather Heyer died of a heart attack. So I don't know if she changed the title. There was some additional things about MSN lying. I don't know if that's been changed. But I did find the video and her channel. I watched the video. I'm not going to show her face. Notice I blacked it out on her icon for her channel. I'm not showing her face because I'm assuming that I would probably get flagged for it, for bullying or something. But I did review her channel, and it is just loaded with white supremacist stuff. Very interesting. Here is a short clip of her speaking about Heather Heyer.
But for Christ's sake, the media was pushing this photo of this woman in the blue t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt on the hood of the car, implying that this was Heather. And that was not true at all. Heather was in all black, as we've found out since the new evidence. And this, I'm laughing, it's not funny. The woman in the blue shirt, that photo that is circulated, is the photo that the media claimed to be Heather. This is the same photo used in the meme that has been created about Heather Heyer that got Emily Yukis banned from Twitter and began the Andrew Anglin controversy on Gab. Check out my last video if you want to see the whole Gab story.
So this is very interesting. She's promoting that the defense of people like Emily Yukis, who I can only assume is a white supremacist. I don't know her, but the fact she's mentioning her in this way, and then she's mentioning Andrew Anglin. Well, Andrew Anglin runs the website, The Daily Stormer, which was pulled down for things he said about Heather Heyer. And by the way, I don't agree with that kind of suppression of free speech. I believe that's a wrong concept. We should allow these people to say whatever they want and then go against them if you feel like talking out against them. But to suppress them is only to put them, make them go underground. And I think that's a really poor idea. But this girl, this Lauren Rose, which reminds me a lot of Lauren Southern, another fake name, another pretty girl that they're using to attract in the white supremacist men. That's what they do. They use women to bring in the men. That's like what Fox News does as well. But this girl, she has all kinds of stuff on her channel. One of them is a video titled Bacon Tutorial, Swedish Migrants Only. And here's a picture from it. And so she's mocking Muslims. She hates Muslims, but she doesn't say that. She makes sure she just makes it about the bacon. So it's sort of a manipulative way of trashing Muslims without exactly doing it. She's teaching them how to cook bacon and how great bacon is, even though it's against their religion. And then at the end of that video, she also puts in a slam against Jews. And I'm not showing her channel, I'm not showing her face, but this is a little operative they've got working for them to bring in the white supremacist men. It's completely obvious. And there's also an interesting video on her channel where she is in a New York university, and she's recording while she's talking to a professor, and they're discussing race and IQ. And she's trying to get the professor to make a statement that race and IQ are related. So basically, without getting into it too far, she's trying to push eugenics type theories about race and IQ. And the professor kind of gets close to it, but backs off. And then that's sort of the point, is that the professor won't commit to this concept. But these people are all basically promoting Nazi ideas, and it's clear as day. So that's why they're also supporting this white supremacist who drove his car into a crowd of people, and they're now trying to claim he didn't mean to kill anyone, as you'll hear David Duke and his friends say later as I get to that. But here is a screenshot of Andrew Anglin on the Gab. She did a video about Gab, and basically the domain was going to be pulled down, just like Andrew Anglin's site was pulled down by the domain registrar. So Andrew Anglin put on Gab, internet fatties learn the truth. So she's supporting, this girl, Lauren Rose, is supporting this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not against the law to say things like that, but it's pretty disgusting. And also, he's saying that about a picture with a woman on top of a car who's been hit, and it's not even Heather Heyer, as was mentioned. So it's all just wrong. But I guess it's okay to do when you're trying to hate on people and defend a white supremacist murderer. So here's a screenshot from the Daily Stormer before the website was pulled down. And he wrote, and this is why the site was pulled down, he wrote this article on August 13th. This was the day after the event where Heather Heyer was murdered. And it says, the title, Heather Heyer, woman killed in road rage incident, was a fat, childless, 32-year-old slut. That's what Andrew Anglin wrote on the Daily Stormer the day after. And note to the right, it says, unite the right. You will not replace us. They also chanted, Jew will not replace us. He was one of the promoters and organizers of the Unite the Right rally. So think about this. You have a guy who was one of the organizers of the Unite the Right rally defending one of their members who drove a car into a crowd of people and killed someone. The very next day, this guy writes an article defaming the murder victim. These are the kind of people Adam Curry is directing you to. He directs you to go watch Lauren Rose, who has all kinds of white supremacist stuff all over her YouTube channel, and she defends and knows who Andrew Anglin is, a hardcore Nazi. One of the people who organized the rally, the same rally and the same accident that Adam Curry is trying to tell you the murder victim didn't get hit by the car, which is not shown in any way that you can see whether she was hit by the car or not. And either way, it doesn't matter. This person drove his car into a crowd of people and caused the death of a woman. Doesn't matter what happened. That's the facts. That's the way the law is going to look at it. And he's going to be going to jail for a long time, regardless of what these people think. And you'll hear that later with David Duke. Now, I wanted to just very quickly show you a couple things from the Daily Stormer. The website has been pulled down. I'm going to reiterate that I disagree with this. I guess that the domain registrar could have it moved to another site. I just don't know who would host it, and I think that's the issue right now. But they should be hosted somewhere so that they can promote their hatred, because we should be able to see it so we can fight against it. Anyway, this is a banner that I pulled down, and it was actually not from the Daily Stormer. It was from another site that was promoting the Daily Stormer. And this was a while back when I was doing some Sandy Hook research and looking into people like Keith Johnson and Deanna Spangola, because they're all linked to Andrew Anglin. And Andrew Anglin's linked directly to David Duke. So you see how this is all working out, how it's all connected. Now, the fact that the site is pulled down, I went and looked at Wikipedia, and they have another banner. It appears to be a banner that was, I assume, was on the Daily Stormer. And you see here, there's a rifle, automatic, semi-automatic rifle, pointed at a cartoon Jewish man. A cartoon used by all these white supremacists, including people like Odenrock, who was involved with the Sandy Hook hoax group. And he used that, and a number of them used those types of cartoons as they were trashing Jewish people, because that's what one of the main things is with Sandy Hook hoax. But I just wanted to quickly show that. That's kind of interesting, pointing a gun at people. In one of my other videos, when I was looking at the Ukrainian contrived revolution, the overthrow of the government with the help of the CIA, I found this photo actually on Andrew Anglin's Daily Stormer site, and it was a photo of the Svoboda Party, people who are full-on Nazis in Ukraine, and they were celebrating the overthrow of the government because they used these people to overthrow the government. Think about that. They're using Nazis to overthrow the government and then put someone else in power, which is the complaint of these people, because they were the ones who did all the legwork and then got replaced by somebody else. Again, that was blamed on the Jews. So, and who did it was the CIA, which is much more associated with white supremacists and Nazis than anybody else. But I wanted to bring this in as well. This is one of the few articles I pulled down at the time from the Daily Stormer. January 10th, 2015, Andrew Anglin. Google Earth images suggest NAACP bombing was a hoax. And the reason I pulled this down was because one of the Sandy Hook hoax people had put up a video claiming the exact same thing only a couple days later. So he was right in lockstep with the white supremacists on claiming that this was a hoax. And it was not a hoax. It was proven later. The person was caught and charged and is in jail right now. At last that I looked into it, which is a while ago. But I'll just read this paragraph quickly. It is actually appearing as if those monkeys in Colorado had the sheer nerve to simply find a black spot on their building that had been there for years and claim it was a white man trying to do that motherfucking explosion on day black as. So the person who was promoting this exact same thing was X-Ray Ultra when he created this video on January 13th. A video that he deleted not long after. 100% proof that the NAACP bombing is a hoax. And at the bottom he says, "Don't miss my phone call to the FBI to tell them their story is bullshit." And he produced a fake phone call to the FBI. In my opinion, it was completely fake. I covered this in another video at one point. But the reason I'm bringing this up is you have multiple people like X-Ray Ultra, who was part of the Sandy Hook hoax group, closely working with Tony Hart, and collected all of the members' data. So they data mined their members. He pulled all that information, and then he still promoted hoax, but he was against the hoax group. And then he worked on a video against Wolfgang Halbig with who? C.W. Wade, Keith Johnson, and Deanna Spangola. Keith Johnson, who is a white supremacist, Holocaust denier. Deanna Spangola is the same. And C.W. Wade, I've never seen him show those types of characteristics, but he is absolutely surrounded by these people. And they're also on both sides of this. And they're all old friends, like Keith Johnson and Deanna Spangola are old friends with Jim Fetzer. And on. I could describe it forever. So this is interesting. It's another person linked to C.W. Wade who is promoting white supremacist ideologies. And he also did videos claiming the Jews were the pharaohs, which is another historical ridiculous idea. But here is also a photo of Andrew Anglin. I've blacked out his face. Note he is wearing a Make America Great Again hat. So that's the other feature of all these people, is they are all down the line Trump supporters, every one of them. It's got to be a coincidence, right? And here's David Duke at the Charlottesville rally, and he's a good friend of Andrew Anglin, the organizer of the rally. And we're going to get into what David Duke said on his show about Charlottesville and about Heather Heyer. And of course, I've covered this before. Alex Jones had David Duke on his show to promote him, not to argue with him. He laid down and let David Duke walk all over him so he could promote his concepts like Jewish supremacism. Yes, people like David Duke believe that the Jews have a Jewish supremacist ideology and whites do not. There's no such thing as white supremacy. They've even gone as far as I've heard people claim that eugenics is a Jewish conspiracy. Yes, eugenics, which was based on white supremacy, which was based on the Aryan Superman, they're claiming, some of them, that it's a Jewish plot. This is the kind of twisted bullshit that these people are trying to pull. And this is the type of person Alex Jones has on his show to promote his propaganda. It's absolutely fascinating. And they just all happen to support Donald Trump, and they just all happen to be trying to run cover for the Charlottesville murder by one of their white supremacist friends. So I'm going to wrap up this video with a long clip. It's actually 3 clips joined together of David Duke talking about the Charlottesville car accident, or it's not an accident, intentional murder, driving a car into people. But I want you to note, if you can remember the beginning, what Adam Curry was saying, how many things are these people saying that are identical? Are they being fed this information? Are they given talking points? Because they're claiming the exact same things. Listen, and you will hear.
So what pictures did they show of Trayvon Martin? They showed pictures of him when he was 12 and 13 years old, this cherub, little black kid with no gold teeth and no gangster rap and no hip-hop attire, right? And look at the pictures of this woman, right? She looked like she was at least 400 pounds, right? They showed pictures of her maybe when she was 13 or 14. Now, again, the important thing to me is not how much weight she had, but the important thing to me is how that they do this kind of programming and this kind of propaganda all the time. There is even a lot of, it seems to be correct. You see somebody that certainly looks like this woman, dressed in the same black mammo as this woman, who, when the car went by, she lost her balance on the right-hand side, not even near the car, and fell over. And there's a lot of people now say there's evidence that she died of a heart attack, and in great partiality because of the fact that she was so overweight. I don't know. The only way that you can know what happened is to get a true rendition of what happened, and you don't get that rendition. We do know, we see the videos of the car, and we also know that when the car was going forward at the max speed, it was between 20 and 25 miles per hour. That wasn't like somebody trying to drive, mow down a lot of people, and he ran into the back of a car. If he wanted to mow down people, he could have gone to the right or left. And it apparently is true that the only one who died was the woman involved here, who's now the hero, and there may be evidence that there was no traumatic blunt injury against this woman. You know, she was vastly overweight and she had a heart attack. Maybe she got excited. She could have got excited at a rock concert and died. I mean, but this, and again, you see the car within seconds, and this car is swarmed over, and they're running after the car before there's any evidence of it striking any people. And by the way, it was going so slow, there's no way that they could have even, people basically at high speed don't do much more than 25 miles per hour at the most. But within seconds of that car, running into the back of the other car, they were swarmed over by Antifa communists, basically, with baseball bats bashing in the windows trying to kill this guy. Could it have been he was trying to run away? Dr. Slattery, what's your take on this? They keep calling it domestic terrorism. What happened there? If there's any real evidence that he intentionally tried to kill all these people with a terrorist act, basically, why has he been, it's been a long time now since the event. Why has he not been charged? So the truth is they're calling it domestic terrorism. The Congress does this thing talking about this as a domestic terrorist act. By the way, they didn't say that Black Lives Matter were domestic terrorists when a supporter at a Black Lives Matter rally shot down 5 police officers in Dallas, Texas, right? But so if it's a domestic terrorist act, then why hasn't he been charged with any sort of federal domestic terrorist charge?
Because they know they can't make the case. They know they can't make the case.
So then why are they charged? Then why is the media calling it domestic terrorism? Why does the Congress of the United States
can say anything they want?
Right, and why does the Congress of the United States pass a resolution calling it domestic terrorism when the guy has not been charged with domestic terrorism? And obviously, if there was any evidence that he intentionally drove and tried to kill people at this rally, including this hire woman, that he would have been charged with that, wouldn't he have?
Yeah, this is going to blow up in their faces because he's not going to be even found guilty of the second degree murder. Maybe there will be traffic violations or reckless driving or something. You're making this point that the media coverage has been absolutely wrong, and very comparable to Trayvon Martin in that they're using this very old picture. She looks nothing like that. We know what she looks like because there's pictures of her on that day before the accident, and she's extremely overweight. She had her hair was braided back. It's dyed black. And she was wearing not a muumuu. She was wearing a black shirt and black pants, and had a like a French braid down with her hair. And it's not that I'm obsessed by this, because shortly afterwards, Reverend Dankoff and I made a video and a podcast, and we talked about it to an extent. And I was ready to believe the worst about the guy, but I wasn't going to pass judgment because I didn't know. So I had an open mind. But because of callers on the Stormfront show, which I'm a co-host for, we had several callers who called in saying the whole thing was a false flag. And remember, I was only a couple blocks away when this happened, and I came to the scene maybe 20, 30 minutes later. I didn't really know what had happened, so I'm not going to present myself as an eyewitness, but I do know what the atmosphere was like, and I know what the geography was like. I know, and so I've looked into it a great deal because of that, and I can say categorically that this was not a planned attack. If the guy had gone wanting to do the London Bridge type of attack where you mow down as many people as you can, he would have gone up on the sidewalk and killed people. And he didn't. He wasn't trying to kill people. It's obvious. And as for this woman, I've seen a whole bunch of videos. There are a whole bunch of videos because everybody had their cameras out. And, there's video that's not all that clear, but it's clear enough that there was a woman dressed like that who was not struck directly by the car, but at the time, but was knocked or bumped into by somebody trying to get away from the car. But at that point where she was, because she was at she was right where the car came to a stop. When the car came to a stop, she was beside the car. When the car was in her vicinity, it was going extremely slowly because it was, by that point, all its speed had been taken away by the impact with the Toyota in front of it. So there was no way that she was hit hard by it. She wasn't even struck by it. The evidence that she died of a heart attack, well, her mother came out the next day and said on NBC News that her daughter had died of a heart attack, that she had been told that she died of a heart attack at the scene, that the emergency responders resuscitated her heart briefly, but she never regained consciousness, and then she died on the scene. That's what her mother said. And of course, nobody is, you don't see on TV, they never showed the woman getting hit. Because she didn't get hit. Now, what you can see in videos, and I've seen this from two different angles, because two different people took pictures of this, is the emergency responders right by the stop sign, which was as far forward as Mr. Fields' car went. There is an enormous woman who has had her black shirt pulled up and her black pants pulled down, and so there's just this enormous. I'm not trying to be insulting, but I'm just trying to be descriptive. This giant blob of a blubbery person, and they are trying to do CPR on her, and you see the waves going through her body. And it's, I'm not trying to be insulting, but I'm just being descriptive. This is what they were doing, and this was 5 minutes afterwards. So this is what Heather Heyer's mother had been describing, that she had been resuscitated briefly, but no, her heart had stopped. Your heart would stop because of a heart attack. It's not going to stop because you got bumped into by somebody, or even a car traveling at.
Or if you fell over because you lost your balance, or in a crowd.
Yeah, and even if you fall over, lose your balance, and strike your head, it's you're going to have bleeding to the brain, but it's not going to stop your heart immediately. Right. This was a heart attack. And here's one last thing I want to bring up. She on the Ellen DeGeneres show, Heather Heyer's mother said that in her last conversation with her daughter informed her that she had taken out a life insurance policy and made the mother the recipient. Now, 32-year-old women with their without children are very unlikely to take out an insurance policy, a life insurance policy, unless maybe they have been told by their physician that they've got a very bad heart.
A life-threatening condition.
Which would be insurance fraud.
You know how people always say, how is it possible that the Germans, intelligent people, that they became these Jew-killing haters? Look around at what's happening right now in the world, and you'll understand. Because it's not the crazy alt-right people. No, it's the other side.